I'm in Missoula, Montana, and I still have an hour or so of daylight, so I'm going to check out the river. It's been a while. I'm going to check out the Clark Fork River and the trail on it. Right now we have what looks like a railroad bridge that was converted into a pedestrian and bicycle bridge. So you can see there's snow on those mountains. And so the most curious thing, I came back here and the first thing I noticed is it's hot, which is usually not something you would think when you go from Costa Rica to Missoula, Montana. And you can see there's even still ice and snow along the river there. But the air is pretty hot and the sun is pretty hot. It's actually the equinox today. So right now there's this little island in between the main course of the river and a side channel. This is actually a dog park. I think people are allowed to go there too, but it's mostly a dog park. I'm going to continue walking on the trail this way. So I'm actually walking the opposite direction. Right there, the M, which stands for University of Montana, that's Mount Sentinel. And there with the L, which stands for Loyola, it's Mount Jumbo. There's a guy yelling in the background. Haven't heard that for a while. There's things I'm going to miss about Costa Rica. The pura vida and general calmness is one of them. This is pretty obvious from context, but that is the University of Montana. Sports fields, about 28 hours ago, I was on the University of Costa Rica sports fields. So I changed and things don't change. Mullen, that's something I haven't seen for a while. And of course, this is a somewhat unpleasant surprise, even though I planned for it and it's natural, is when I came in, I was finding, it's like, why is there so much mud? Why is everything covered with mud? Right now, everything is still gray and straw colored. From still winter and things haven't started branching out yet. Trees are all bare. Now, when I left Costa Rica, it was things were that way for another reason, because it was the dry season. But I did come back on March 20th, so within a couple of days, you'll start to see at least some green grass, and with a couple of weeks, the trees will branch out. This is another thing that's obviously very different. This is a big pile of snow that was bulldozed here from other places. It's very hard now and also covered in soot, so not exactly beautiful, pristine nature, but that is a new thing for me to have a pile of snow. It's been a while. Because I left Oregon in October, the beginning of October, and went to Costa Rica, was still basically summer in Oregon. So it's been about a year. It's been 12 months since I've actually felt cold. So this trail continues for a while, it looks like, and I'm going to walk forward to where that sign is, see if it has more information, and then I'll probably turn around fairly soon after that, but it's been a while and I'm kind of tempted to keep going because I've missed this. So this is the Kim Williams Nature Area. I've never actually lived directly in Missoula. I've been here many times, but I've never actually lived here. And so some of this stuff, I'm not sure if this is new or if I just didn't know about it before. The other thing about Montana, it's a big state, and so you have a nature trail like this. This could go for another 10 miles easily, or it could go another 2 miles. So one thing I do like about being here is just this sense of expansiveness. It is the big sky. There's our friend. So yeah, and actually now I have data, so I'm actually going to check and see how long this trail goes on for. So I checked, and not exactly 10 miles, but it does go on for quite a few miles more. There you can see, there's our paraglider, or ultralighter. So a lot of people doing different outdoor activities. I am going to walk back. I will keep this in my memory if I want an adventure, but I only slept 2 or 3 hours on the plane, and another hour, or maybe only 20 or 30 minutes on the second plane. And even though I feel a second wind now, surrounded by all this beauty, I think I do want to go home and take a rest. On the other side of the river, you can also see there's a train going by, a freight train on what I believe is the old Milwaukee Road, or the Mullen Trail. And the passenger rail on the Empire Builder in Whitefish, where we've been before, is over 100 miles to the north. This would be one possible route if the North Coast Hiawatha is, or whatever it will be called, the route through southern Montana is reinstated. This would be a passenger rail line, but for now that's strictly freight. Unless at some point there is a like excursion railroad, but mostly it's a freight railroad, or only a freight railroad as far as I know. And the path does continue that way. This path basically follows the Clark Fork and kind of circles around, much like the bike path does in Eugene, which we've seen several times. So you could go a while, and there's different bridges, either main bridges or pedestrian bridges. But as you can also see, it's getting dark. So we'll save that for another day. There is one thing I want to see in the next neighborhood. So apparently there's this little staircase that goes down to another little walkway, but it says there's no outlet to that. And it's one of those cases where maybe there actually is something, but I'm not going to try it today. I have something else I want to see. For future reference, this is Rattlesnake Creek. There's actually a lot of access along this creek up that way, and it goes into Clark Fork right over there. Another thing I'd want to see, but today I'm going to cross that road, I believe, and find what I'm looking for. So I talked about the trails, and in general there's a lot of bicycle-friendly stuff in this city, but we still do have these really wide roads. So it's built for pedestrians and bicyclists in places, but still, like most of the other cities, a car-centric city. But I don't need to say more about that right now. There's also some very interesting and beautiful architecture in this neighborhood and throughout Missoula. Some of which is on the National Register of Historic Places. And some of it's just nice buildings, nice neighborhoods. Could talk more about that at a later date, but right now I have, like I said, one more thing to see. It's certainly new. If you see the brick building over there with the pillars, that's the library I was familiar with. This big old modernistic looking building here is the current library, and according to what I saw, it's open until 8. So obviously something I missed. Costa Rica's had trouble finding libraries, and Missoula is a city of about, 75,000 people, county of 100,000 people, and the library is one of the newest and biggest buildings. And it's probably a side effect of it gets cold here in the winter. And it's supposed to still be open, and the old library here had a big old free pile. And after a long time in Costa Rica where I, was finding battered mystery novels for $4, I'm going to see if there's any free books I can get in here. So all of these books are $1 each. That's a pretty good deal. So for $4, this is what I bought, and that's excellent. So also, the world's best public library. So when I was saying that the Missoula Library was very big and fancy for its size, I'm not the only person who thinks that. I don't know if that's the absolute best, but it was best in some category. It's a big, nice library for a city of under 100,000 people. Yeah, and so, kind of having the initial rush of coming back and seeing some of the things I missed. Water and books. That's really the two things I missed most. And now I'm going to go over to the Albertsons, and I'm going to get some hard cheese and an outrageous bar. Other things I missed. And hopefully this little walk around Missoula, even though I only showed part of it, and obviously other stuff is going on, I hope this helped. And there will be more Montana content in the coming weeks and months is the plan.